Okay, good afternoon once again. Good noon. And we are now on our finals. Our last module is on ornamental productions and landscaping. So, sige. And so for this, we're going to have only 2 lessons left, but until January 15 na lang man tayo. So hanggang ano na lang tayo actually, hanggang next week, no? So we can most probably finish at this week or hanggang next week. We still have a lot of time. So anyway, mag-screenshots ako ha. So anyway, for your final requirements, 1, 4, 22. So for your final requirement naman, deadline would be, depende no, baka maano na naman yung deadline natin, ma-move by from January 15 to whatever. But then konti na lang mani nga quiz na inyohang i-answer. These are 5 questions, but these are all the same questions from vegetables and fruits. So these are just for ornamental crops. So I hope you can start for this one within 2 weeks. And for your laboratory report, same lang din, no? And maybe some of you have started already. So the quizzes, so ito na lang ang last na ninyo na i-submit, quiz and lab report, no? So for now, we are going to start with cauliflower production in the Philippines. And also we're going to have another session at 2 p.m. no? Or 2 p.m. akong gibutang ata dito. So before we proceed, let me again have a screenshot. Okay, kayo ba you have already finished your pre-final na modules, na-submit na ninyo tanan, and also the rest? Okay, tingog lang mo dara ha, kumakaano mo. But in. So for our first lesson, we're going to talk about flower production in the Philippines. So lahat ng mga flower production. So last time, I gave you an introduction of the flower industry in the Philippines. I hope you still remember that. Ako man to siyang review na siya, naka-post siya, no? So you just search it in our Facebook group. So and also the second one will be about landscaping, no? So most probably next week na ang landscaping, and we'll have the flower production in the Philippines for this week, no? And so when we say Philippine ornamental horticulture industry, since 1970s, no, cut flower are already considered the major component for the growers as hobbyists or enthusiasts. So lahat naman tayo, no, especially nung nag-pandemic, we've been nagiging plantitas tang tanan, no, because of staying or working from home. So and ngayon nga, no, we are not so sure pa of our future kasi ano ang virus, nag-evolve siya, no? And we have another variant na naman. So also in the mid-80s, the industry have become huge, no? Nindako pa siya. And karon, until now, it has become a source of income, huge income and potential actually, even for foreign, no? For foreign revenue or export. So interest also on commercialization ng mga horticultural products have grown actually, especially yung government have recognized already the importance sa ating local economy. So at the present na meron tayong mga number and size of farms na nag-a-adapt ng modern technologies, especially sa Baguio. Kasi doon, Baguio kasi is like parang ornamental capital of the Philippines. No, and here naman in Mindanao, parang yung Davao, no, tayo yung sa orchids. And these were already our source to boost production and quality. And now we have been promoting the ornamental horticultural products, and we have increased our awareness, no, sa benefits nito in our everyday living. No, kasi we were thinking that since when we speak of agriculture or horticulture, we only focus on vegetables and fruits, no? And not to think the other advantage of ornamentals or yung ano tawag doon ha, parang yung benefit ng beauty and ng ano na siya tawag, I just forgot, but actually psychologically, no, these plants and ornamentals will not only boost our health, our mental health, no, psychologically, but also our overall na ano. Kasi aside from ginagamit natin din siya for medicinal use, industrial use, as source of oils and parang perfumes, yung mga ganon uses, it will also help our mood, no, our yun nga, our mood, our emotional, no, emotional balance. So the floriculture, when you say floriculture, of course, the study of flowers in the Philippines is parang synonymous na rin sa horticultural industry as an ornamental. Kasi this will include not only flowers but also ornamentals, no, for domestic and external trade. So this includes flowers, yung mga, so I have already shown you last time if you still remember, no, and the classification that was under lesson 1, no, on module, on prelim module. And we also have foliage and other plant parts, no, like the fresh leaves, branches, trees, shrubs, and bushes. And dried ornamentals, yung gina-dry natin, gina-bleach natin na mga grasses, statice, and eucalyptus na ginagamit sa different na mga art products. And other ornamentals in the form of tree, shrub, bush, roots, cuttings, leaves, and a lot, no, for landscape purposes. So on our next lesson, we're going to learn how to landscape properly based on design and principles. So the growth of the ornamental industry in the Philippines has the so-called Key Commercial Crop Development Program, or KCCDP, from 1996 to 2000. So it adopted the ornamental crops as export winner then based on the UST, no, and it's still very young kasi we did not prioritize it for how many decades, but now we are very aware of its potential and export marking, and it has been emerging as a global competition. So ano yun ang present situation natin sa Philippines? So small lang talaga, no? If you will see, let's say in Samal, no, daghan ba nag-flower farm dara, daa ba? Nag-flower farm? Ha? Okay, tingog lang mo ha, just butt in if you can turn on your mic later. So, well, sa Davao and maybe somewhere sa mga malalamig na lugar, we have a lot, no? Cagayan, where Bukidnon, no? And as I have said, doon sa Baguio, yun talaga yung capital natin for ornamentals and cat flowers. So, but it's only few comparing, no, from other countries. And in fact, yung ating ang ating demand based on yung mga restaurants, mga tourists, no, lahat ng mga clients natin have increased demand, no, in when cut flower, especially pag meron tayong mga occasions like mag-February na naman, 'di ba? Valentine's Day na naman, na amoy date sana all, no? So mahal na pud kay ang mga bulak-ana, no, ang mga flowers, even like Father's Day, Mother's Day, or birthdays, no? And so the demand is also really increased. What else? Even sa kanang All Saints Day, no? Graduation, festivals, and even December. So generally, we have already have introduced to you the different cut flowers, no? The Gladuli, Aster, Sampaguita, Chrysanthemum, and Heliconias. They are grown usually in the open field, no? And sometimes we have the so-called short day flowers, yung mga Chrysanthemum, and ano pa yung isa, Anthurium. Anthurium ba yan? Hindi. Poinsettia, no? These are short flowers na meron silang very short light requirements. Kaya if you remember what I have shown you last time, na PowerPoint, no? If just to show you the PowerPoint, ha? Alin na yun? Hindi ko under na ako. Anyway, it's in here. Not sa ano talaga. I-close pa bitaw na ako. Pero it's in here. Gi-open naman siguro na ako sa PowerPoint. Naka-save na yan sa mga files, no? You just search it. So ito yung sinasabi ko sa inyo na PowerPoint that I have shown you last time. No? All over the world nga. Ito na sa Samoa, sa Greece, Spain, Germany, Italy. Yan. So just to give you what I have shown you last time. Ayan. So I have already shown you this last time, no? So for the next, after our discussion, we're going to have a video presentation naman on the actual production of this one. Not merely in the Philippines, no? Depende sa pipiliin nating video. Kasi more on, like for example, Gladuli and Chrysanthemum, ang dami talagang sophisticated na production, no, from other countries. Since these are very specialized, no, they are not only can be grown on the field, but in greenhouses, net houses, like in Benguet, no, if you have been to Benguet or Baguio, so they have already a very established na mga farms. And semi-terete bandas in mounted driftwoods, shrubleaf bandas, dendrobium. So in here dito sa Puente Espina, I know you have seen anhin na mo dere sa Davao sa they have orchids, diba? Ang daming mga orchids farm dito sa Davao that you can most probably visit one of these days if the condition will allow us. And what else? Anthurium, no? Which can be more advanced technology, like growing them in a computerized fertigation. Yung fertigation, when you say fertigation, combination ng fertilizer at saka water, no, in a greenhouse. And we also have roses, gerbera, and jasmine sambac or sampaguita. Although dili na kay common, no, sa if you are a Christian or a Roman Catholic, usually part talaga yung sampaguita sa ating sa ating pagsisimba, no. And chrysanthemum aster production, no, in supplementary lies na makikita ninyo later in the video presentation. And cold storage to break the dormancy of corms or gladulus, like also ano pa, yung mga biennial crops, no, like aster. So we have a cold storage in UPLB. And so how do we produce our planting materials? No, most of our ornamentals are actually vegetatively produced. So we use cuttings, bulbs, tubers, corms, or tissue culture. No, makikita nyo mamaya kung ang tissue culture ng anthurium, ng orchids, no? And this has been already purchased or grown in Malaysia, Thailand, and even Hawaii. So we are also importing some of them. So there's like for chrysanthemum, no, they are propagated mainly by cuttings, roses, or budding, marketing, and cuttings. And or suckers for gladulus, corms, and cormels, and for heliconias, may division sila. So these are the major producer cut flowers in the Philippines, no? For orchids, we have Laguna from Luzon, but in Visayas, we have Cebu and Negros Occidental. In Mindanao naman, yung Davao at saka Cotabato, South Cotabato. For anthuriums, we have Laguna, Benguet, Cavite, and Batangas, Negros Occidental, and Davao City, as well as Cagayan de Oro and Bukidnon. For roses, Benguet naman, Cebu, Davao, and so on. Chrysanthemum, the same pala, no? For Gladulus, Heliconia, and Aster, Shasta daisies, and Sampaguita, Liliums, and Statice. So sa Benguet lahat yan, ang Lilium lang ang meron sa Davao. So these are also some of the varieties of the cut flowers grown in the Philippines. So when we say roses, we have a lot of varieties. The red success, Mercedes, and so on. And for monks or chrysanthemums, we also have Brigance, Ceres, Fuji, and so on. And for orchids, mas madami, no? Wala lang ditong ano nga yung ano natin, Banda Sanderiana. Yan. Which is very very famous in Davao City. So we also have anthurium na mga varieties, Danita, Chandler, and a lot. And Gradulus, Friendship, Spick and Span, Liliums naman, Stargazer, Cordelia, and Heliconia. The Parrot, Parakeet, and Sassy, no, and so on. So, meron tayong tinatawag na mist beds for rooting the cuttings and laboratories for embryo tissue culture of these orchids. And we have mga universities, mga Department of DOST, no, who are actually under this embryo culture of hybrids ornamentals. So, in marketing naman, the key players for cut flowers in the Philippines are yung mga breeder natin or grower, supplier, traders, cooperatives, transporter, broker, exporter, importers, and lahat mga institutional buyers or mga walk-in consumer lang natin. Pwede ibenta, no? And lahat ng mga new improved varieties ng cut flowers are already form of our backbone industry. That like yung breeders kasi they play important role para mag-develop ng mga varieties ng mga bago. Kita, 'di ba kita mahilig tag mga bagong variety, 'di ba? Na mga mga ornamentals. So we are actually like pag bagong variety, no? Isa sa inyo naga-collection of flower actually. Isa sa inyo. Ay. Ha, naga-collection sa inyong flowers dere?
Kami, ma'am.
Alchin. Sa inyong sa inyong mga flower collections? Mga ornamentals?
Mga nga na, ma'am.
Sige, mulaag bindara sa inyo puhon ha.
Si Kuan man ma'am, si Robert sa gigpanguhan og bulak.
Ang sa mga bulak pod. Kanang mga ano.
Kanang alam sana siya kanang mga usagod karon na bulak oh. Ay nga na.
Mga liliums or kanang bromeliads.
Mga ingana ma'am.
Okay,
Yes.
so i-report pa ninyo sa inyong ano ha, sa inyong laboratory report. So, going forward no sa ating cut flowers exportation. So, nag-export tayo, it means nagbebenta tayo outside sa Korea of 46% glandulus. By share sa Japan naman at Brunei, nag-export anthurium as well as lilium sa Japan, and roses sa Hong Kong and Japan, and orchids sa Italy and Japan. And yung mga export markets of Philippine cut flowers since 1996 ay yung Japan, Korea, Brunei, Hong Kong, and Italy. Yung ini-import naman natin, we are importing chrysanthemum, carnation, pom-pom, no, roses, amaranthus, alstroemeria, no, from different countries, Australia, Holland, Malaysia, Singapore. No, in fact, ito yung problema natin. We have a very tawag doon, ideal climate and area for cut flower productions, or so we don't need actually to import, no, but then we still import because of the demand and needs, no. Ito mga liliums, yung gerbera, syempre kailangan yan sa mga temperate countries, but anthurium and even and tulips also sa may mga winter, no. But the roses and so on, the others, chrysanthemum, are very we are very capable of producing that, no, to supply our own demands. So our suppliers of cut flowers are Holland, Malaysia, Australia, New Zealand, Singapore, USA, and Thailand, no, of these following flowers, no. And most of this can be grown readily in the Philippines. So potential talaga yung cut flower production in our country because we have the strength, we have the ideal climate, we are a tropical country, and we can have subtropical varieties, no, even in the like Baguio. Malamig kasi sa Baguio, so we have also the richness of diversity. And but then medyo konti lang talaga ang venture on this, but hopefully at this point we are already aware of that, and we can start, no. We will not only engage sa mga crafts, wood crafts, but also ornamentals. However, there are also constraints, no, in ornamental flower production, and that includes yung cost ng structure like greenhouse, mga irrigation, and post-harvest facilities. Kasi wala tayong masyadong knowledge, let's say, no? But then, because of this topic, makikita nyo ano ba dapat gawin, no? As post-harvest handling ng mga, madami, kung ato kang mga palengke, kabalo na silang sa buhaton para mag-increase ang shelf life ng ating ornamentals, no? And what else? Mga credit sources, of course, we need huge na mga investment and mga varieties na from other countries lang na nanggagaling. So since limited lang tayo, sometimes we really wanted yung mga mga magagandang kasi usually pag malalamig, like for tulips, no, it's only grown from mga naay country nga naay snow or mga freezing moment. So actually yun lang, no, on our lesson 2 will be discussed next meeting or next week. So do you have any questions or clarification before we proceed with our video presentation? We will just have one video presentation. Let's start with rose production in the Philippines. So, Philippine setting muna tayo, no? And hopefully, simple lang, madali lang, mga 10 minutes, baka maubusan tayo ng time. Bakong Flower Farm, the rose capital of the Philippines daw. Talaga? I thought it's in Baguio. Wait lang. Agriculture. Sige, but this is 17 minutes, so hindi natin yan matatapos. Mamili sa pagka ng gamay lang. No, kasi we don't have much time. Like 8 minutes lang po na yan. So, anyways, we still have time next meeting para Amsterdam daw in the Philippines. Talaga? O, sige, watch na to na later. Sabad. So, do you have questions or clarification before tayo mamili? Ahak man yung mga tag-asyo dahil sila, oh. Let's just watch this ka ng ano na lang from other countries. Ayan, tissue culture yan ng ng roses. Or pwede rin siyang cuttings, no? And ginaano pa siya, ginabudding. Gumagamit sila ng mga vermi-ew. So, naka-greenhouse sila. No? Kasi medyo malamig man sila ng lugar. So that's in Ecuador. So we have 10 minutes left. Ayan, nag-harvest kasi manang. Sa pag-ask kayo ng roses, depende kasi yan sa mga varieties. Look at that. No? Some of that varieties are not also applicable or cannot be grown in the Philippine setting. Unless na lang doon ka sa malalamig, no? So, isa yan sa mga post-harvest and harvesting techniques nila in the greenhouse. So, they are actually fully equipped, no? And they are actually measuring their, stem cuttings. Conveyor pa yung kanilang packaging facility. So, diba, napakalaki. Greenhouse lang na siya, ha? So big. And mechanized. So we actually have a lot of techniques sa post-harvest, no? Like putting mga pang preservation nila, no? And this is one. If you're going to just, store them in a cold temperature. And aside that, mag-provide ka o tawag doon, sugar, no? Reserve. Ihumol mo sila sa mga different mga preservation. So if we still have a lot of time next time or next week, we can also try to watch videos on flower tinting. If not, so you can mag-color kag flower. So anyway, you can do it by yourself naman. How to color water using tinting nga, no? Aside from industrial way of coloring, like kanang mag-color kag mga tawag doon, mga t-shirt, no? Industrial ra siya. Yan. So, na very nice packaging sila kasi for talaga yan standard na mga mahalon jud na flowers. Okay? So, I guess yun lang, no? That would be all for our session. So that would be all for our session this morning, and we are also running out of time. 3 minutes na lang ta. Do you have any question or clarification before we proceed, before we end, or maputol na ta? So thank you for joining this session, and next session ko ay 2 p.m. for those who miss it. And again, lahat naman ng session is recorded. So mamili lang mo sa mga session if you miss the call or the lesson. So for the next meeting, we're going to learn mga principles of landscape design. And hopefully you can have your own landscape as part of your laboratory report next meeting. Not next meeting, before time mag-end, but we only have 2 weeks to do that. No? So mga pangutana before ta mag-end. Dali na lang man, no? Last 2 topics na lang nato ni or lesson. Actually, daghan kay kag i-consider when you do landscaping. So we will just discuss that next meeting. But most probably we'll finish up muna yung mga different ornamental production. No? So again, thank you very much for joining with me. So kung wala na tayong mga pangutana, and if you miss questions after this, you can just chat me in our group chat. So thank you very much and see you again next
Thank you,
Thursday.
ma'am.
Thank you. Next
Thank you, ma'am.
Thursday.